Well, we have a moderate risk, level 4 out of 5 of severe weather across eastern Iowa, southeastern Minnesota, southwestern Wisconsin into western Illinois Tuesday. So pretty serious situation potentially later today. A powerful storm system, unusually powerful for this time of year. We're talking about once in a decade kind of low pressure, more of a winter type storm system, but with a summer air mass. So things are going to erupt here across parts of the Midwest. These are storm reports from yesterday. A lot of hail and wind reports from Colorado through Nebraska into Iowa, and even a couple tornado reports. But today looks like an even more aggressive situation. So I've shown you this. It looks messy, but sometimes that's the way to look at it. Where do all the colors come together like a 5-year-old's drawing? And it right now is near that surface low in eastern Nebraska into northeastern Kansas, and that area will be lifting northeast. So that's the area to watch. So mid-level winds, we've got this trough here, this short wave aloft, winds out of the southwest and increasing. Surface winds wrapping around counterclockwise tightly around that surface low. And that's critical because that's where we'll have the most shear. Winds moving in different directions at the surface, but aloft they will be roaring out of the southwest. And the key indicator today to watch is instability, always, but where we see the most instability lined up with all that is going to be the greatest risk of the most severe storms. Even a 10% chance of EF2 or greater tornadoes today. That's that hatched area from Storm Prediction Center. So just southeast of the Twin Cities into eastern Iowa, western Illinois and southwestern Wisconsin. Shear is going to increase through the day today as those winds in the middle of the atmosphere really increase. We're talking about some really intense winds, not that far above the ground, that are going to help to contribute to the severe weather situation today. So these are those crossover winds, surface and mid-level winds, combined with instability or CAPE, that convective available potential energy. And we are expecting that energy, that instability, to migrate northeast through the day ahead of that low. But winds at 4,000 feet above the ground, not that far, 65 miles an hour later this afternoon. Winds at 9,000 feet up, about 75 miles an hour across Iowa and Missouri, again, roaring out of the southwest to northeast. And then you go up to about 17,000 feet, those mid-level winds, 100 miles an hour. So these are some intense winds, increasing speed with height. So you can imagine that horizontal rotation of air, and then updrafts from thunderstorms take advantage of that. And so that's why we are always looking at shear. And that instability probably getting into southeastern Minnesota. So southeastern Minnesota into Iowa is where we'll see the worst parameters for the start of this, and then all that will shift east. Significant tornado parameter is across southeastern Minnesota into eastern Iowa. Those are the worst parameters that we're seeing. So that's why we're targeting on that area of eastern Iowa, southeastern Minnesota into western Illinois, southwestern Wisconsin. Watch the surface low, because it's where those storms erupt, near the surface low and along the cold front. These are going to be the storms that initially are going to produce those supercells, potentially intense ones, and then that will all continue to expand and move east. These will become more bowing clusters of storms that will produce high wind gusts later on. And then this entire threat shifts to the south and southeast tomorrow along the cold front. We'll be looking at Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas for the severe weather threat Wednesday into Wednesday night.